gone over him, but he's a manager who knows to eat that. To survive at a club known as Arsenal, all you have to do is simple. You have to continue winning things like these. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We are going to be breaking them down a little bit, and it's all about the presser that he went ahead obviously hold as Arsenal was really in Spain yesterday. When they touched down in Spain, the manager came up and obviously had things to say about his club, and that is Arsenal. And this is where we're coming through to obviously let you know that it's all up and running. Champions League fever is on. Arsenal is really trying to do the needful to see to it that all really goes on as to plan, and Arsenal wants to win the Champions League. It's the title, and that's what we're obviously going to be doing. But smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And please, we want to hit 28,000 subscribers, and we're left with like some 600, right? So please do the needful and really subscribe. And after subscribing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Let me ask a question. Can Arsenal win the Champions League this season? It's a question mark, you know, and I'm obviously going to be waiting for your comments into the live chat, because I've already gone ahead to set the narrative and you really know exactly how it is in there for you. So Arsenal are already in Spain, and Mikel Arteta was asked about this Arsenal side, and this is what the manager really had to say. On the team news, he told us that Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, Ben White and Martin Odegaard are still out, unfortunately. That's the team news that he really brought to us, and that's where things really went ahead to obviously look like. And in this so-called confession, he also had to really talk about a player known as Bukayo Saka. And that is already known, right? That's already known, and I don't think that we really need to obviously come up and really do anything about it. But there are things that we need to obviously hint on, and one of those is Arteta on whether Arsenal can go one step further this season and win the UEFA Champions League. This is where we went ahead obviously get our title, and Arteta said the following, that yeah, like the rest of the teams that have done the same, strengthen and continue to do that and have won it on many occasions. Then he concluded and said that that's the aim in the beginning, but we all know that it's going to be a really long journey. The margins in the competition are super small, and you have to be at your very best from day one to obviously come up and really win. That's what Arteta really went ahead to obviously tell us. Now, he said at the start that yeah, like the rest of the teams that have to do the same, they have to strengthen. And for me, I think Arsenal have strengthened. This squad of Arsenal that they're really having can go against any team in Europe and obviously vandalize it. That is it. Arsenal can destroy any team in Europe. I tell you, they can destroy any team in Europe. And I've gone ahead to see very many European teams, but I think there are only two other teams, all three, that I think do have the squad that Arsenal do have. One of those is Man City. They really do have a rich squad. The other one is Chelsea. Chelsea really do have a rich squad that can obviously come and really compete with that of Arsenal, but still Arsenal stands out, you know. Then the other team is PSG. You know, PSG really has a very good squad, and having a first 11 doesn't mean that you really have a very good squad. You know, I'm not talking about the first 11. I'm talking about the entire squad. You know, when you look at PSG and the bench that they really do have, it's really good. So Arsenal went ahead to obviously strengthen, because last season Arsenal was nowhere near the squad depth of Chelsea, Man City, and PSG. But this summer, Arsenal have gone to bring in the goalkeeper, Kepa. They brought in Nogard, a CDM. They brought in Martin Zubimendi, another CDM. They brought in Noni Madueke, a right forward. They brought in Mosquera, a defender who is really looking good. They brought in Victor Gyökeres, another number 9 at the club of Arsenal. They brought in Ebelechi Eze, another malfunctional player. And then they brought in Hincapi, Piero, another malfunctional defender who is left-footed at the club of Arsenal. And Arsenal went ahead to obviously look at the dynamism of all these players. And apart from the player that they signed in goal and Nogard, I think the rest of the players are really malfunctional. I think Gyökeres, Gyökeres, Nogard, and Kepa Arrizabalaga are the only players they brought in through when they can only play a single position. That is it. Because for Kepa Arrizabalaga, he's a goalkeeper, and you can't come out and obviously do the needful and really say that you can obviously get him out. You understand? Then the other one is what's the name of the lad? The other one is Nogard, is a CDM typically, and Gyökeres leads the line. But for the rest of the players that Arsenal had to bring in through, they are really malfunctional. Let's start it off with Piero Hincapi. Piero Hincapi can play as a left back and can play as a left-sided centre back, meaning that he can play in 2 positions. For Mosquera, he can play as a right-sided centre back. He can play as a left-sided centre back. He can also play as a right back. He can play in 3 positions in that back line. We go to Martin Zubimendi. He can play as a CDM. He can play as a box-to-box player, and he can play as a central attacking midfielder. He literally plays in all positions in the midfield. So it shows you how spot on Arsenal were when they're obviously bringing in these players. Noni Madueke, he can play as a right forward. He can play as a left forward. Ebelechi Eze, he can play as a box-to-box midfielder. He can play as a central attacking midfielder. He can play as a right forward. He can play as a left forward. He can also play as a false number 9. So Arsenal went ahead to strengthen hugely. And when the manager talks about Arsenal strengthening, I really understand where he comes in from, because it's really one of those things that have gone ahead to obviously hold Arsenal a little bit back the previous seasons. We all know to it that the season of 2022-2023, the Premier League was supposed to be for Arsenal, but those injuries of Saliba, Gabriel Jesus, who else? I think they really got some injuries in there for you. And for the season of 2023-2024, they really went up to the wire. But you all know some injuries went ahead and obviously affected Arsenal. They really lacked squad depth. Last season, it was evident because Martin Odegaard was injured, Bukayo Saka was injured, Kai Havertz went ahead to get injured. You understand? And during the January transfer window, they tried to obviously go out and really bring out a player to really try and cover up for that. But it was all in vain, and it wouldn't obviously happen to their expectation. And nothing really went ahead to obviously mushroom from that. But this time around, they've gone ahead to strengthen. And that's why the manager of Arsenal is really very, very, very confident that they can obviously go ahead and lift up something in a shortest period of time possible as far as this is really concerned. But he says it's not easy in there for you. Daniel Sheriff, thank you for watching in through. Salume Alupo, I see you. Alan Molindwa, thank you. Moses Henry, thank you for watching in through. Bonya Wilson, thank you for watching in through. Alexandras, thank you for watching in through. And this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information about your favorite teams. Apart from Manchester United, if you want to see me do things concerning Manchester United, do the following. Go ahead and really look out for a channel known as United Matters channel. And there is another channel that I went ahead and obviously to start. It goes by the names of Fantasy View Global. And if you really enjoy fantasy, you can obviously get me that side. You know, it's really one of the newest babies that we really have. And it's really nice to obviously see you come and really go ahead and really follow up onto that channel. Let me try to paste its so Fantasy View Global, there it is. I've gone ahead obviously post it down there, and you can as well follow it up and see what fantasy is all about. And I'm really trying to build this fantasy channel because fantasy is fantasy, and it will make you like fantasy in there for you. So that's all about Mikel Arteta and strengthening the squad, but he says it will take some time. But I think their squad is better than the squad of Real Madrid. It's better than the squad of Bayern Munich. It's better than the squad of Barcelona, better than the squad of Liverpool. And very many people in the football world that really support Liverpool and really rival Arsenal are like, Rokani, you are lying. It can't happen like that. Let me be very open, you know. Look at the squad of Liverpool. You know, it's thin at the back, thin in the midfield, and I think the only rich department that Liverpool has is that forward line, because they do have that in strikers, Isak and Ekitike. You know, right forward, I think they only have one player who goes by names of Mohamed Salah. One will tell me that they have Chiesa, but he's not really like a Madueke, you understand? Left forward, they do have Cody Gakpo, Florian Wirtz. I think that is it. They don't really have that squad that you look at and really say, all right. And I'm obviously going to be making a video about Liverpool and its squad as to why I think even City surpasses them when it comes to winning the trophy, because City really has a very good squad that can obviously compete, because you can be having a very good first 11. If it's all about who has a better first 11, I tell you, Liverpool is one of those teams that really have a better first 11, you know. But when you talk about a squad that can obviously go and really play in the Champions League in the midweek, over the weekend it plays, I tell you what, put respect onto the team of Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City. They've gone ahead to do some good work in the window, and they are really great in there for you. Now, let's obviously go on and really see what the manager really went ahead to say again. The manager went ahead to say that he said, Arteta on if losing in the semi-final is driving Arsenal forward. Remember, Arsenal lost in the semi-finals the previous season. Arteta has said, well, it's that and that moment you get deflated. You have to understand what you need to do to put yourself back in the same position and start actions that actually matter to give yourself the chance to achieve that. Obviously, they really went ahead to make a huge assessment, and they were like, we are leaving it for Andrea Bartha. And Andrea Bartha was like, this is where my expertise, you know, pinnacle's best, and I'm going to be coming in through and I really take you to the dream world. And now, this is what they've gone ahead to do. They've gone ahead to recruit players that all of you are really happy about. And the breakdown of all that was based onto Arsenal coming in through and really not having a squad depth. I can give you an example. In the game of PSG, if Arsenal had a Mosquera, you understand? If Arsenal had a Zubimendi, if they had a Gyökeres, if they had Anoni Madueke, if they had an Ebelechi Eze, tell me how Arsenal would have failed to obviously unlock that defense of a side of PSG. They would have gone ahead to unlock it. You know, that front three that Arsenal went ahead to sign during the summer is really going to cause havoc to very many teams that are obviously going to try to stand in their way. Get it from me. That front three is going to cause havoc to very many people who are obviously going to be trying to stand in the way. You understand? So, if you really stand in the way of Arsenal, you're obviously going to face it rough. Get it from me. Get it from me. Arsenal is going to try to demolish, every team using that front three in there for you. I'm talking about Noni Madueke, right forward, Ebelechi Eze, left forward, and Victor Gyökeres, leading the line. So, if the manager says that when they are knocked out, immediately they felt depleted, and they had to understand what they needed to obviously come back better next season. And I think they really went ahead to obviously understand the assignment, and that is Arsenal for you coming in through with a set of players with specific skill sets that are really very, very, very on point, and looks like they really read the room very well as the club of Arsenal, and they understood that we shouldn't go in for the lower fruits, and Arsenal went in for the upper fruits, and that's why today is really very important. Arsenal are really going to be the most deadly team in the Champions League because of their front three. Now, Saka is on his way back. When he returns, problems after problems. You understand? Imagine when you're left back, you've just been facing Saka for an hour mark, and then they deploy Noni Madueke onto your side. Do you know what that means? That's an overload of work. I tell you, it's a typical overload of work that you cannot obviously come in through and really stand. So, as it stands, it's really very important to really note that Arsenal are really one of those teams that are really deadly in there. Arteta, on if losing in the semi-finals against PSG last season, drove Arsenal forward. He added and said, you take a lot of learnings from it. It's painful because it's not only what we feel, it's about the expectation that we create and the real conviction that we had within the club. The team that we could go all the way because we showed a very high level of consistency and quality. Now, you are hearing from the manager because you have to learn from your mistakes. And what shows that you've gone ahead to learn from mistakes, you minimize, the margin of error has to obviously go ahead, like shrinking every other season. And I think Arteta has gone ahead to do it. The first 6 months of him as an Arsenal manager, he won an FA Cup. 2020, 2021, that means he played in the UEFA Europa League. 2021, 2022, he again, I think, went ahead to finish, was it 6th in there? Because 2019, 2020 finished 8th. 2020, 2021, he finished 8th. And 2021, 2022, he really finished 5th or 6th. You understand? Now, 2022, 2023, he has been finishing second and competing for the trophy, meaning that he has been obviously closing down those margins of error. And this time round, I don't think that there is even a gap of error. I don't really see it. All I see is what we call perfection, and they've gone ahead to learn from what failed them to really beat the side of PSG, and there comes an Arsenal side that is really great. Oh, I had not buttoned really very well. Sorry about it. But all I want to let you know is simple. The side of Arsenal is really working tooth and nail to see to it that they increase on the quality. And there are two words that he ended this with. He said that we could go all the way because we showed a very high level of consistency and quality. So Arsenal really lacked something. They were consistent, but the quality couldn't obviously allow them to obviously go ahead and really compete against the side of PSG. You understand? Then we get to another question, Arteta, on whether getting knocked out ultimately helps teams eventually get over the line. He said, the big clubs try 7, 8, 9 times and they win 2. So in this competition, it's going to be one and you will fail much more than you succeed. Those are the words coming in through from the manager. He concluded and said, that's the nature of that. That's the history of our club, and that's what we want to change. Now, Mikel Arteta is really very, 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 very vivid. And I think he speaks with confidence because he has been here. You understand? He has been here. When he tells you that big clubs go ahead to try 7 times and they win it twice, he's really right. Let me take you to the club I support known as Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson, tried, and we obviously let's count from 1999 to 2013 when he left. Those are 14 years, right? At the club of Manchester United. In 14 years, Sir Alex Ferguson played 4 finals. 1999, 2008, 2009, 2011. Out of those 4 finals, he really went ahead to really win 2 trophies only. And I'm talking of finals. And for the rest of the seasons, I think it was the season of 2004, 2005, or 2005, 2006, where Manchester United failed to get out of the group stages. I think that group had Lille, Villarreal and Maccabi Haifa, and the United really performed very badly. That's when he wanted to strengthen, and the next season he tried. But most of the times, Manchester United obviously went in and really got knocked out at the round of 16, quarterfinals, And this is what Arteta is talking about, that you'll keep trying and trying, and in 8-9 tries, you only win it twice. I've just given you an example of Manchester United. And let me give you an example of Pep Guardiola. He came into the managerial job of Barcelona when they really went ahead to really lose to Manchester United in the semi-finals of 2008. And when he came in through, he won the Champions League immediately. But it never meant that every season was going to win it. You understand? However good a team Barcelona was, it never went ahead to win those trophies day in and out. You understand? So that's what I want to let you know about this, that you need to obviously understand where we are coming in from. And where are we coming in from? We are coming in from the side of the side of very many tries and really get knocked out, because Champions League is a knockout tournament. Last seasons, I think you could play 6 games in the group stages. You go to the round of 16. How many teams could qualify? 2 teams from 8 groups, that is 16 here. You play 6 games in the group stages. You go to the round of 16, right? From the round of 16, you get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals and the finals, 6, 12, meaning that you have only 13 games to obviously become a champion, meaning that you need to have luck on your side. However good you are, sometimes you need luck. You understand? You really need luck to find yourself in a position of really doing the needful. For example, look at how PSG went ahead to knock out 3 English Premier League teams last Champions League. They first knocked out Liverpool. They went ahead and knocked out Aston Villa. They went ahead and knocked out Arsenal, But the margins were really very fine. All those games were games of high margins. Liverpool, penalties. Aston Villa, Aston Villa needed only 1 goal to obviously see to it that they really forced this game to really, they needed only, I think, 1 goal to force that game to go into a draw. You understand? And really go to extra time. So, for Arsenal, you know what happened, So, it really was a close game and a close affair. And I think the manager of Arsenal really knows and understands this better than anyone else. That's why he's like, they want to go in and win the Champions League. And I know that they can really find themselves really winning. Daniel Sheriff, thank you, my brother. Sure, everything is possible. Yeah, everything is possible because Arsenal is really one of those teams that really have a very good squad. Alupo, hey, Aradi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Alan Molindwa, yes, we can, and we are starting on that journey tonight, obviously. Moses says, watching you from Chigezi. How are you, my brother? Hope everything is fine. Wilson says, hello, Rokani. All right. Alexander says, catching you live here from my hometown, Kapchora. Thanks for the show. All right. Baligaya Bosco. Hey, Rokani. Hey, my brother. Adesola says, well done, my brother. All right. What is it exactly? You go ahead and really watch. It's all about placing your best 11, and every game you really earn points. That's what fantasy is all about. Saad says, here in Yemen, big up Mr. Aradi, thank you. Jafali says, I think Arsenal can even win a double. They can, even a treble. They can. And there is a certain submission that was made by an Arsenal fan, I think on AFTV, that I really went ahead to obviously buy in. He came up and really said the following. That's, quote me right, he said, let's not cross the bridge before we reach it. The last game competition to be played in a season is the Champions League, you know? And it was like, let's obviously start by really going in for these trophies that are really nearer. Let's start with the Carabao Cup that we can win in March 2026. Then, after that, let's get to another level of the Premier League, then FA Cup, then the Champions League. And I think, why did I buy his idea? The reason is simple. That when you win the Champions League, when you first win the Carabao Cup, it's like the dream is possible. When you go ahead and win the Premier League, you are like, let's go for the FA Cup. From the FA Cup, you are like, let's go for the Champions League. And all that is possible with a squad that Arsenal is really having. Arepa says, Martin Elisha, thanks bro for watching. You're watching from Chikobo, Kampala. Thank you. Solomon Bulime, what's your take if Arsenal adds Angelo Stiller, striker from Stuttgart? He's not Angelo Stiller, all right. He's a midfielder, and Semenyo. Now, isn't that what we call over padding? At the pudding, you know? I think that will be a lot, you know. It will be really a lot. You know, I think if you are to bring in Semenyo, that means you have to offload one forward that you really do have, either a Martinelli or a Leandro Trossard. You have to offload one to get in Semenyo. And for Stiller, that midfield of Arsenal, is it really enough? Unless otherwise, you really offload Norgard and get in Stiller. That is it. Prita says, I'm not against Liverpool, but with their squad depth, it will be very hard for them to compete for the Champions League as well as the Premier League. Yeah, I'm just going to hit to hint on it. And some people are like telling their fibs, but my idea, to really win a league, it's really a marathon. Obujelo Dennis, good evening, bro. Aradi. We're going to win Arsenal. All right. Arsenal is going to win today, obviously. When is Jesus coming back? I haven't even gotten to know when he's coming back. How far is the signing contract of Saka and Saliba? For Saka, it's pretty close. Saliba, huge offer has been made to him. New offer. The first offer looked like it was below the expectations of Saliba, but the new one is really good, and Saliba might obviously go ahead and really fall for it. Klein says, imagine at some point in time, Liverpool gets the injuries Arsenal have right now. Guys, I smell a rat at Anfield. Obviously, you have to smell one. Not only a rat, but even you have to smell blood at Anfield, because if Gravenberch gets an injury, who will come in through and perfectly does that? You know, the answer is, I don't think that they really have anyone who can obviously come and represent to the fullest like that guy. Talk about Pikisa Herbert. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Aradi. I'm a Manchester United fan. I'm seeing Arsenal is the favorite to win the Champions League because they have best squad than last season. I tell you, they've gone ahead to really make their squad really look better. Very nice looking squad. Playing the game against Burnley proves a lot of things we have been talking about. There is luck in football, but do you think luck will follow you game after another? Absolutely not. Now, you know, you are like trying to get to obviously try this video. I was going to do it, and you're trying to obviously you are making me let the cat out of the bag. But let me throw a hint. It's not only the game of Burnley, but Liverpool have struggled to win all the games against, you go ahead and really make research, against Bournemouth, Newcastle, Arsenal, Burnley. They've really gone ahead to struggle hugely. That is it. Prita Klein, anyway, today is going to be a smooth 2-0 win for the team of Arsenal. Jokeres to be on the score sheet. Guys, I see a goal galore. I see Arsenal scoring like 4 goals, you know. Tohero Moses, guys, hit the like button. Yeah, they have to hit the like button. That is it. Because we are really having 6 people watching through and only 23 have gone ahead to smash the like button. So, guys, smash the like button. Charles Calvin Opio, Mr. Aradi, I see Arsenal taking it. All right. We wait and see. Acclaim, if Arsenal win or draw all their away games, the possibility of finishing top 3 in the table is 90. Arsenal might even top this group, I tell you. They might even top it. Chongonzi Media, thanks bro. It's Musidamo from Kiruhura, streaming live at Kitembuzi FM radio station for you. All right, thank you very much for obviously streaming in there. Much love and respect. Klein says, can't wait for Mosquera show once again. It's really fun to watch this boy. His IQ and composure is on another level. He's really one of those players that just shows you that Arsenal went ahead to bring an expert in transfers, because he's a bargain. He's a bargain. 13 million pounds. That is 15 million euros. That's what Arsenal had to pay for this lad. And obviously, he's in. Protogen, after Odegaard injury, I wish Eze to play as a number 10. Guys, no. It's gonna be Waneri. But I want to let you know that if you want your team to obviously be good, you need Eze to play as a left forward, because he is really that special. He's really that special. Just let Ethan Waneri do the needful. He has come of experience and I think of form, of knowledge, name it, to play into that position. You know? And if the manager really wanted to do that and he saw a number 10 in Eze, you know, they would have gone ahead to obviously bring in a Trossard, Oli Martinelli to play off the left, and then Eze to play centrally. But, I repeat it, even last season, you know, and his best seasons at Crystal Palace, Ebelechi Eze has played as a left forward. We know he's a number 10, but most of his best seasons at Crystal Palace, especially under Glasner, he has been played as a left forward, and that's where he has gone ahead obviously deliver a lot to us. Lastly, Klein says, bro, do a show rating all the strikers signed in the EPL. Let me note it down here. Where is my pen? A show rating all strikers signed in the Premier League. But should I do all of those? I think I'll do Jokeres, Sesko, Ektike, Isak, Watamalde for Newcastle, Wissa, Kolmuani, who else? I'm going to look out for 10 forwards, 10 strikers that have been signed in the Premier League and really rate them. Thank you. I'm going to be doing that. I'll do that and I'll deliver that video. So guys, I had asked you earlier that do you think Arsenal will win the Champions League this season? You know, you guys told me 95 said yes, 6 have said no. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I really felt like I should obviously open up today with this live stream, and it's nice having you in here. And let's wait and see when I'm coming back live. But I'm coming back live how many hours from now? 5, 6. 2 hours from now, I'm going to be coming live with the match day live with the confirmed starting 11 for the club of Arsenal before we get into that game. And when that game is done, match reaction, player ratings, you know how to do it. Bye-bye for now. See you later. For everyone that's been part of this video, I love you all and good evening. See you when the game of football really starts between Arsenal